Today, Lauren and I are at Gold and Silver Pawn, more famously known as Pawn Stars Pawn Shop, where they would film the show that started airing in 2009 on the History Channel. And
we'll be answering the questions. Does it look anything like the TV show? Is it a decent sized pawn shop? Is it any different from other pawn shops? Will you see the cast there? Are there any cool finds? And is it worth going to?
I'm Rick Harrison, and this is my pawn shop.
Before going in, we didn't really know what to expect, so we did some quick Googling about 10 minutes before we entered, and this is what we found out. According to the Gold and Silver Pawn Shop website, you are allowed to take photos inside the pawn shop, but you are not allowed to take videos in it, and you also are definitely not allowed to take videos of the left window, which it said was the pawn window.
And just when we thought we were doomed and couldn't do this video, we actually found out that luckily Lauren's phone has this really cool feature that allows you to take 30 photos in 1 second continuously and pick up audio as well.
All right, let's see what you got.
We swear, Rick, it's just a whole bunch of pictures, don't worry.
I don't know, it looks kind of suspect. Could be an imposter, you know?
Rick, I swear, it's just a whole bunch of pictures.
In all seriousness though, they didn't really seem to care if you recorded, but maybe they're feeling nice that day. Before we walk in, here's a quick fun fact.
they actually had to start moving the set for where they were filming to a different location because it's so popular here.
However, it was on this Reddit thread that we saw some comments from people that seemed pretty disappointed with the pawn shop, saying things like, the real shop is tiny too, it's a 4-minute walk, we warned my dad it's tiny, he was very disappointed. So obviously we started to get a little bit worried because we're reading all these things right before we're about to go in, but we wanted to make this video and we wanted to check it out for ourselves, so we went in anyway.
The first thing we noticed when entering the pawn shop is the insane amount of people in the shop. This is the busiest pawn shop we've ever been to, and also the only pawn shop we've ever been to. The design of the shop is just one walkway with counters on the sides, so it got pretty congested in the middle. The second thing that we thought was interesting is the fact that this pawn shop has its own merch.
We checked out the back of the shop first since this was the least crowded. This part of the shop had signed paintings from famous artists at not so affordable prices. If you're in the market for a signed KAWS painting, I don't know if that's how you say his name, KWS, for $20,000, then you could find it here. So I don't know if that's you, but it's there. But if you're like us, this area of the shop, like much of the rest, is just cool to look at. And because we went to the back, we actually have some good news for you all. I bet some of you were wondering if we got to see anybody from the TV show. And yes, we can say that. It was at the very back of this shop that we saw someone special. Some of you may wonder if celebrities are anything like how they are on TV. Is it the same person or are they totally different? And today we can confirm that Rick is exactly like how he is on the show because he would not budge at all when we met him.
Bottom was $1,500 on it.
I'll do $8.
$1,000?
$800, man.
12?
$800.
He doesn't seem to like you very much. He's leaning away from you.
To actually answer the question though about if you'll meet somebody at the shop from the TV show, probably not. I don't even know what they'd talk about with people there. You have some annoying guy say, hey man, you're the guy from that show. Yeah, you mean the show about this pawn shop? Yeah man, remember when he totally f***ed over that guy in that one episode?
$800, man.
We have a deal. No, I'm not happy about the deal.
Moving on, we noticed the shop was pretty much a mix of very expensive, cool to look at collector's items. And we honestly liked that since we weren't going for any other reason than to just look at cool stuff. We weren't gonna buy anything there. And it definitely beats the typical used power tools on the shelves, stolen lawnmowers, you know, everything else you can find at your normal pawn shop.
So that begs the question, what can you find at Gold and Silver Pawn? Well, you can get a crystal statue wing thing for $10,000. A dinosaur fossil for $7,500, an assortment of watches ranging in the thousands of dollars, an assortment of paintings in the tens of thousands of dollars, a signed Messi jersey for $10,000, a Taylor Swift album frame for $3,500, guns manufactured before 1898 due to federal laws and the lack of licensing by the shop, and what you all been wanting to hear about, the signed Star Wars poster for $65,000. If that's a bit above your price range, you could always go with the US coin for about $30. Or lots of Pawn Stars merch like a t-shirt, a bullet cup, more shirts, posters, and more. But not even a billionaire can buy Benny Binion's hat because it's not for sale.
And if I'm being honest, we didn't really know who that was. We thought it was like some famous country singer or something that died. Turns out he was a career criminal and gambler. So a little off on our guess, but there's definitely some good material there to write a country song about. Anyways, back at the shop, we also noticed this guy. I'm talking about the camera guy on the left, by the way, not the guy on the right.
but we did notice that guy as well.
So we looked it up, and yes, Pawn Stars actually still airs to this day. We didn't even know that until we looked it up while we were in the shop, and then we saw on the door as well as we were leaving that you might be on film when you're in there. Maybe Lauren and I will be in an episode somewhere. We'll be looking forward to that royalty check, Rick. Thank you. And finally, inside the shop isn't the only place with cool things. Right outside of it, you could rent this slingshot for way too much money, so you could be the coolest guy in Vegas. But I'll hand the mic off to Lauren so we can answer the questions we asked in the beginning of the video.
Does it look anything like the TV show? We thought it did. The set is designed to look like it, and we thought it had the same exact look and feel as the show. Or that's at least what I remember on the show, but I also haven't watched it in a very long time.
Is it a decent sized pawn shop? Honestly, we're actually gonna side against the Redditors on this one. Reddit moment. We don't know what they were expecting. I mean, we went in and they really made us think it was gonna suck, but it seemed like a decent size to us. I don't know if they thought this was going to be some amusement park pawn shop thing or what. We liked how it was more of a long rectangle instead of kind of the more traditional square. Reddit took the L on that one.
Is it different from other pawn shops? We think it is, but that could be better or worse for the reason you're going. In our case, we weren't looking to buy anything, so we liked that it had really cool, inexpensive collector's items to look at. Are there any cool finds? Definitely, but are there any cool finds within your budget? Probably not.
And the final question, what everybody's been waiting for. Is it worth going to? If you aren't already in Vegas, I wouldn't recommend you drive out to Vegas or fly out to Vegas depending on how far you are from it just to go to this. I think you'd be pretty disappointed if you did that. But if you're already in Vegas like us and just looking for something fun to do, this is definitely a cool place to check out, and we would say it was worth it for that reason. It's free to get in. It's cool to see the shop in person, and there's also cool things to look at in there. I think the worst case scenario would be that you thought it was gonna be bigger in person than it actually is, but we didn't have that problem, and we actually were pleasantly surprised when we saw the size of it. So that was the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please make sure to like it and share it. That would really help us with the channel. It's been growing amazingly, and we're so thankful, and please consider subscribing. So thank you for watching. Bye.
Okay, so on their website, there is a list of questions that they put and that they answer. And one of them is, can I send an item to you to look at and maybe buy from me? And it says in all caps, no, do not send us your items. We get so many letters and gifts from fans in the mail, it is impossible for us to separate them out. Any items mailed to us without specific prior approval from a manager are assumed to be gifts, and we are not responsible for returning them. So don't send anything to them. If you just want to sell it, they're gonna keep it because they're gonna think it's a gift.
Yeah.